As those who saw our original 10 times trash talk went too far know, even the most high-profile fighters can cross the line when it comes to verbal jousting. With that in mind, for better or worse, it takes more than one episode to truly highlight the many times MMA stars have gotten carried away with their banter. In this edition, we'll take a look at 10 more instances in which fighters said things that more than stretch the boundaries of good taste. As always, if you guys enjoy this video, then please be sure to let me know by leaving a like and subscribing to our channel. Now, without further ado, and ranked in no particular order, let's take a look at 10 times trash talk went too far in MMA, Part 2. Number 10. Conor McGregor insults Khabib's father. The notorious Conor McGregor's ability to trash talk has played a significant role in his rise to the top of the MMA world in terms of becoming a box office draw. Still, even the most hardcore McGregor fans have to admit the Irishman has crossed the line in recent years. Heading into UFC 229, the Notorious One broke one of the unspoken trash talk rules, insulting an opponent's family members. He did so by referring to Khabib's father and trainer Abdulmanap Nurmagomedov as a quivering coward. Of course, the remark seems relatively tame compared to what McGregor later posted on Twitter, not too terribly long after Khabib's father's death due to complications brought on by COVID-19. Commenting on McGregor's second loss to Dustin Poirier at UFC 264, Khabib took a jab at his old rival on social media by posting, "Good always defeats evil." In turn, the former two-division champ fired back with a low blow by tweeting, "COVID is good and father is evil?" a reference to the Eagles' late father. Unsurprisingly, Conor McGregor was heavily criticized by fans and media alike for a comment that was way over the line.
You know, only evil can talk about your father, like wife, kids, religion. Like, if you're normal, like human, you're never gonna talk about this stuff, you know?
Number 9. Colby Covington mocks Matt Hughes. While some fighters mistakenly make inappropriate comments, others seem to go out of their way to get people upset. One athlete that never shies away from controversial statements is former interim welterweight champ Colby "Chaos" Covington. Covington's over-the-top banter was on full display following a dominant victory over Robbie Lawler at UFC on ESPN 5. In his post-fight interview, Covington mocked Lawler's longtime teammate and UFC Hall of Famer Matt Hughes, saying this:
"It's a strong lesson that Robbie should have learned from his good buddy Matt Hughes. You stay off the tracks when the train's coming through, Junior. Don't matter if it's a Trump train or the Colby train. Get out the way!"
The train comment was in reference to an incident that occurred in June of 2017, where Hughes suffered a traumatic brain injury during a near-fatal train accident. As such, many onlookers thought that Covington had crossed the line when he referenced the incident in his post-fight comments. The statement only served to solidify Covington's status as one of the sport's most polarizing figures. Number 8. BJ Penn threatens to kill Georges St Pierre. The lead into UFC 94 produced one of the more distasteful videos in MMA history, courtesy of the prodigy BJ Penn. This 2009 clip features the Hawaiian superstar uttering lines like,
"To the death, we're gonna go to the death, I'm not gonna stop. I'm serious, George, I'm gonna go to the death, I'm gonna try to kill you, and I'm not joking about this."
Sure, lines like that are sometimes uttered in competitive situations. However, Penn's tone suggested he wasn't speaking metaphorically. Regardless of all the intense talk, thankfully, the prodigy didn't come anywhere close to backing up his words. In fact, their UFC 94 showdown concluded with a one-sided win for St Pierre. Number 7. Israel Adesanya says Yoel Romero will crumble like the Twin Towers. Reigning UFC middleweight champ Israel Adesanya has become one of the sport's best talkers in recent years. However, the world-class kickboxer fighting out of New Zealand has seldom crossed the line. Of course, there is one time in particular when the last stylebender put his foot in his mouth. At a press conference promoting his UFC 248 fight with Yoel Romero, Adesanya made a massive blunder. When discussing how he planned to defeat Romero, the champ stated that he would make his opponent, quote, "crumble like the Twin Towers."
I'll touch him enough times, and eventually he'll crumble like the Twin Towers. Too soon?
Of course, this statement was referencing the tragic events of 9/11. Understandably, the backlash came from all corners of the MMA world. Adesanya would issue an apology for a controversial remark that could only be described as highly insensitive. Number 6. Conor McGregor unleashes on Dustin Poirier and his wife. Sadly, the once playful banter that made Conor McGregor such a beloved character in his early career has seemingly been replaced by comments of a darker nature. Both before and after his most recent bout with Dustin the Diamond Poirier, McGregor made several inappropriate comments. Leading into the fight, McGregor took a page out of the BJ Penn playbook by threatening to kill the Louisiana native, while also taking several jabs at Poirier's wife.
Tomorrow night I'm gonna make this man pay with his life
I know he mean it. You're dead in that octagon tomorrow night. Your wife is your husband. Joe Lee's wife. Joe Lee's wife.
Of course, his worst remark came after his UFC 264 loss to the Diamond. Following the high-profile bout, the Irishman appeared to threaten both Poirier and his wife. While there's admittedly some debate as to whether or not McGregor actually says "you and your missus" in the clip, the general message was clear, and it definitely didn't sit well with Poirier.
Even when he was sitting there on the ground with his busted leg, he was looking at me going like, I'm gonna kill you. Like, well, what is wrong with you, bro?
Number 5. Jon Jones makes death threats towards Daniel Cormier. There have been plenty of MMA rivalries in which both fighters play up their animosity for the camera. On the flip side, there are also feuds where the disdain is genuine. Jon Jones and Daniel Cormier are a classic example of two fighters who truly can't stand one another. Back in 2014, during an ESPN interview in which both men thought the cameras were off, things got very heated, with the two former champions hurling insults at one another.
Hey, are you still there?
You're the scum of the earth. You are a terrible human being, but you can sure turn it on, huh?
Finally, when Cormier threatened to spit in his rival's face, Jones responded with multiple death threats and seemed deadly serious.
I wish they would let me next door so I could spit in your face.
You know I would absolutely kill you if you ever did something like that.
You
right?
could never kill me.
Oh, I bet you I could.
Then you should try, John. You really should try, John.
No, I would literally kill you if you spit in my face.
Yeah, let's try that, John.
Literally kill you.
Let's try that, John.
This revealing footage showed a terrifying side to an athlete who is as talented as he is troubled. Number 4. Angela Magana makes fun of Chris Cyborg's appearance. New Mexico's Angela Your Majesty Magana is perhaps best remembered for her appearance on The Ultimate Fighter 20 and her brief unsuccessful stint in the UFC. Despite going 0-3 in her trips to the octagon, the strawweight has never lacked confidence or the ability to trash talk. In an April 2017 Instagram post, she mockingly compared the legendary Chris Cyborg to Jigsaw from the Saw movie franchise. Apparently, Cyborg didn't take kindly to the comparison and immediately confronted Magana at a UFC athlete's retreat, where the two got in a physical altercation. One can argue whether or not the post was over the line, but in this case, Chris Cyborg definitely felt it was, and Angela Magana suffered the consequences. Number 3. Colby Covington insults Mike Perry's girlfriend. Welterweight platinum Mike Perry has long been one of the division's most colorful characters. He's also known for having his girlfriends train and corner him, including his now ex, Danielle Nickerson. Following Perry's loss to Max Griffin in 2018, Colby Chaos Covington took an unprovoked verbal shot on social media. In a brutal tweet, Covington wrote the following, which took aim at Mike Perry's girlfriend at the time. Several fighters like Kevin Lee and Kamaru Usman felt the remark was way out of bounds and came to Platinum Mike's defense. Of course, Mike Perry also posted a rebuttal on Twitter by saying this: "It's more than fair to say that Covington isn't making many friends on social media with his below-the-belt commentary." Number 2. Chael Sonnen berates Brazil. One of the unspoken rules of fight promoting trash talk is to leave an opponent's homeland out of the equation. A fighter that went out of there to break said rule was the American gangster Chael Sonnen. With his biggest rivals like Anderson Silva and Vanderlei Silva hailing from Brazil, Sonnen seldomly missed an opportunity to insult the South American nation. Some of his most memorable quotes include lines like this:
I picked my medium very carefully when I talked about Brazil. I went to the internet. And if I had the foggiest idea that they had computers in Brazil, I wouldn't have done that.
I'm trying to smooth things over with these guys, but I don't exactly know how, right? So I packed a suitcase full of gifts, full of things from America that they don't have. For example, I bought packets of soap for them, because I know they don't have it.
And when discussing his childhood, Sonnen remarked,
"When I was a little kid, I remember going outside, I sit around with my friends, we talk about the latest technology and medicine and gaming and American ingenuity, and I look outside and Anderson and the Brazilian kids are sitting outside playing in the mud."
Needless to say, the American gangster was not a fan favorite in Brazil. Number 1. Bobby Southworth calls Chris Leben a fatherless bastard. Chris the Crippler Leben's appearance on the inaugural season of The Ultimate Fighter was undoubtedly memorable. Between urinating on beds and getting sprayed with a hose, Leben was a part of some of the show's most talked about moments. One of these moments involved castmate Bobby Southworth. When a drunken crippler challenged the Ultimate Fighter competitor to a fight, Southworth responded by calling him a fatherless bastard.
Don't f***ing talk shit, you fatherless bastard. Just shut your f***ing mouth.
That's not cool, dude. Come on, man.
Given that Leben's father was absent during his childhood, the remark was considered in poor taste and forced bystanders to intervene before things got physical. The incident concluded with a sobbing Chris Leben opting to sleep outside of the house. As always, if you guys enjoyed the video, please be sure to let me know by leaving a like and subscribing to our channel. Apart from that, thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.